to the show that we love to play for you.
The Island Shuffle.
The Island Shuffle is a show.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Me too.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
You're wearing a little.
Not too bad today.
You're wearing a Stingers hat?
Wearing a Stingers hat to
Yeah.
support my teams.
Nice. And I'm wearing nothing.
Nothing at all.
I'm completely nude for the first time in podcast history.
True. No one's ever done a podcast nude because it's such a visual
Exactly.
medium.
Exactly. It just. I think it's just brilliant of me personally.
Yeah, you're sort of inventing a new genre.
Exactly. I think it's breaking new ground, and it's finally giving this podcast a reason for people to listen to it.
So we're uploading our podcast on new grounds,
Yes.
and the idea is that we're going to break new grounds
wow.
with all the hits we're getting. You know, like the break the internet stuff.
Oh, boy. Man, you sure made me just think about Newgrounds for a
Yeah,
sec.
it's been a while, eh?
It's been a while, man.
Old grounds at this point.
Oh, wow, yeah. Newgrounds. Hey, more like old grounds.
That shit's fucking crazy.
That shit's-
More like old ether. Because it's not even it's not even the earth. Let's be real here. I couldn't like point to it and identify where it is.
What do we do on this podcast?
We talk about Lost.
Really? Because I thought we ripped shit on like decades old media sites.
Yeah, that is another thing.
Here's
that
my
we
hot
do.
take on dig.com for you.
Yeah,
They're not
fuck
even-
yeah.
they're
What
not
is your hot take on it? Do you dig it?
I don't dig it.
Wow.
I dig it a grave. That's what I think.
Yeah,
of
fuck
dig.com.
yeah. Do you think it's still going?
Probably technically in some form or another.
I like that. Maybe they've still got a Pixo site up or something.
I hope they do.
Angel Fire.
Hey, let me tell you about Netscape Navigator.
All right.
All right. So actually, what we do is we talk about the show called Lost. And it's a show you may have heard of. Aired on ABC from 2004 to 2010.
Hit fucking show.
Hit
Hit
show.
show. You're going through the Wikipedia there, and it shows that they got hundreds of millions of views.
People were tuning into this show.
People like the show.
People turn on their television box and they flip to ABC and they go, I wonder when that television show Lost is going to be on my airwaves.
They said, I wonder if I'll still have TV in 10 years.
I wonder. Probably
How
not.
will the world change
There's no way that this medium will steadily go obsolete.
over the next decade?
Over the
And
next-
it did.
And it did.
Shockingly.
Well, what a bunch of fools those 2005 fools were.
Much in the same vein as how the show Lost steadily went downhill for.
It steadily went downhill until the point where people stopped talking about it altogether.
And
But-
then we came
and
along.
then we came on and we're dredging that shit back up.
Yeah, we're taking back. That's why we brought up dig.com.
Exactly.
That's why we brought up Newgrounds.
Yeah.
It all ties together.
Yeah, it all ties together. We're talking mid to late aughts here, people.
Yes.
Which
You
is-
ought to know what we're talking about.
You ought to know. The hook of the show is not just that we talk about Lost and jibber jabber about late 2000s internet media.
There's more than that.
We watch the show in the wrong freaking order, buddy.
You could even say we don't watch it in any particular order whatsoever.
That's true.
We can take any random episode.
Any random episode. And tonight, what random episode did we watch?
We had a random episode titled Season 2, Episode 6, Abandoned,
Yeah.
featuring our friend and colleague, Shannon.
Our colleague Shannon, our friend Shannon.
And our friend Shannon, who before this episode we've probably seen on screen for about 10 minutes total.
About 10 minutes total, and all of them are spent with her going like, oh my god, I can't believe it. Ugh.
Ugh!
I can't-
No cell service on the island?
No,
What
my God.
the fuck?
No tanning salons on the island. She's
My
spent-
brother's dead on the island?
this island, it blows.
No tanning salons. My brother's dead. What else could go wrong?
Oh, brother, is dead.
That's funny.
That's my favorite Coen Brothers movie. Oh, brother is dead.
Oh, brother, where art thou? Oh, you're dead. So what happens with this episode?
Not
There's like feel like a lot of things happen, but
At the same
it's
time,
not
not
an
a lot
incredibly
happens.
interesting episode.
It's not the most interesting episode. You want to just start with Shannon's flashbacks?
Shannon's flashbacks.
Yeah.
What is Shannon doing? obviously she's teaching kids to ballet.
Yeah, she's teaching kids to ballet, and one of the kids is like, did my dad see me? And we look back and we see that his dad is hitting on another one of the ballerina coaches.
Typical fucking dad.
And the teachers are laughing about it. They're like, can you believe it? What a pervy. And then Shannon gets a call on her cellular telephone.
Which is like a brick.
It's like a brick, because this is 2000. It's practically, it's a flip phone.
Can you frickin' believe it?
You can't even download any apps on this phone.
I know.
You can't download
I don't know
Facebook.
how she takes her pictures, but it's definitely not with that phone.
She can't upload any of her camera phone pictures to Instagram, that's for sure.
That's stupid. Does Instagram even exist yet? And if not, why is she fucking teaching ballet, and why is she not inventing Instagram?
Yeah,
because it's about to be a smash hit.
Yeah, this is one of her many character flaws, is that she doesn't invent Instagram ever.
When there's clearly like a market for it.
So actually, she takes a call, and the call is that her father has unfortunately had an accident. And they go to the hospital, and they find out that he has passed away.
He's passed on to a better world.
To a better world. And so they they go to the daddy funeral. And Boone is there.
Boone. Boone is Shannon's stepbrother.
Yes.
He's got a bad haircut and a bad attitude.
Bad haircut and a bad attitude and empty eyes.
Empty eyes. Yeah, he's sort of a scary looking dude.
He's a scary looking dude. I feel like Boone and Shannon were like meant as like, I think the OC was a hot thing at the time.
Yeah.
So they were like, how are these fucking hip teens or whatever, like hip young 20-somethings, stylish? Like they're meant to be like the like hot ones.
Yeah, exactly. They were the hot youth.
They're the hot youth when like you've got like even by like
and you have
Lost
John Locke and fucking
yeah. Like I'll say like most of like the island cast is like relatively attractive and not too haggard despite living on an island in squalor for a long time.
But
like,
not in that hot Southern California look sort of way.
Exactly. And then
not in that like fucking way that you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
You all know what I'm talking about here, right?
Y'all get it. Yeah, exactly.
You've seen these people before. You can picture what they look like in terms of hotness.
Yes, exactly. It's that level of like, but and like they don't really contribute anything to the show.
Oh, nothing.
Do they?
Less than nothing. Their character traits are shit.
Yeah.
Basically, they're like
spoiled.
Yeah, very shallow, like vapid personalities. The only points in which any of them get redeeming is when they start to act like normal people, which is treated as a big deal for them.
Exactly.
Which to me is not very interesting.
It's not as far as character arcs go.
Yeah.
Like it's not great.
Yeah, like Shannon finally eating the food and not complaining about it is not like a great
that's not like
character trait.
That's one of those things where it's like just please.
All right. And you can tell that the writers didn't really like them either.
Exactly, because they both die very quickly.
Very quickly.
By this episode, Boone has been dead for a while.
Yeah.
I think Boone is the first main cast member to die, to kick the bucket for real.
Surprise.
Yeah. Everyone's shocked. What a shocking moment that is.
They killed Boone.
They killed
Not
Boone.
Boone.
They killed Boone. Anyone can die.
Yeah,
no
exactly.
one's safe.
That'd be funny, actually. I would like a version of Lost where Boone is the last one to die.
Boone makes it to the end. Boone becomes the new Jacob.
Yeah, exactly. Boone becomes God.
Yes. Now that is uninteresting.
Yeah, that is a show I would not watch.
That is a show I would not follow through to the end. So they're at the funeral. Boone shows up. And Boone's opening line is like crazy. Boone's opening line is like, "Death sucks, doesn't it?"
That is his opening line.
And it's like, what do you?
Brutal, dude. You're at a fucking. It's like
you're at your stepdad's funeral.
Exactly.
Like I get you're not wrong, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, show some decorum.
Yeah, exactly. It's just that funny, like, chill guy. Attitude is sort of out of place here.
Exactly.
But treated like it's really cool.
Exactly.
But it's like
everybody thought this kind of thing was like just not giving a heck, or just giving just enough of a heck.
Yeah.
like he's trying to be like supportive, but not too supportive, you know?
Yeah. Just be too supportive.
Yeah,
you
just be
goddamn
exactly
lunatic.
Come on, you bozo. So they're hanging out, and basically, Shannon's basically like, I'm trying to get a internship in New York, but hopefully it works out, and I'll get to come hang out with you, Boone. Won't that be cool? And Boone is like, yeah, that'll be cool. Also, here's some booze and a stick of gum.
Yeah, and that is that scene in its entirety.
That is that scene in its entirety. And then we flash back to Shannon's living with the roommate.
The old roommate.
And she gets a letter. And whoa, what's it gonna be?
Ooh, got the big internship.
She got it. She got the big internship.
By golly, this girl got the big internship. Can you believe it?
She did it. Wow, I can't believe it. It's hard to believe, but she did it.
Yeah,
but then
she got the ship.
But then she immediately gets a call from her landlord saying that her check's bounced.
What?
Her rent checks.
And her roommate's like, what? But you're rich.
So immediately, smash cut to Shannon having a conversation with her evil stepmom, who's dressed in black and has a black purse and a black book and is completely
evil. Do you remember the stepmom's name?
Not even a little bit. Do you?
I think I wrote it down somewhere, but I can't find it. I have a lot of things written down.
Yeah, it's not super important. She's evil.
She's evil. Yeah, she's a bad stepmom.
Exactly. And Shannon's basically like, hey, what's the deal here? Also, Shannon in these flashbacks is 18 or so.
Yeah.
And maybe she's like 21 or 22 or so by the time she's on the island-ish.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly. So she's 18 and she's like, hey, what happened to the money? And also, what about my inheritance from Dad? And stepmom is like, actually, we had a trust something or other, and I get all the money. And I've never seen you do anything useful at all, so I'm not going to support you at all.
She's a mean stepmom.
And Shannon,
that kid's dad just died.
Yeah, and Shannon's like, hey, okay, I actually have this offer to go to New York, and I'll be working 16-hour days. And if I could just have enough to get to New York, that would be enough. That would be I could pay you back. I could support myself. And also my dad just died, and so I'm going through some shit right now. So please. And the stepmom is just like, no, I don't give a shit about you. And maybe this would have an impact if is this meant to have an impact?
The overall outcome of things, absolutely none.
Yeah.
It is fluff story.
Yeah, exactly.
It's somewhat interesting, maybe. But it has no impact on the show.
It could be. There's a world where this has a great impact on Shannon's character.
This could be a great teen movie.
Exactly.
If she gets to New York and she struggles, but then eventually she, gets the job and meets the boy of her dreams, and the stepmom misses her cab and her shoe breaks and the whole world is crumbling.
Yeah, and that would be great. That would be cool. Instead, what happens is Shannon packs up her things, and Boone shows up and is like, well, she wouldn't listen to me either. Have some of also I'm leaving New York too, but here's some of my money if you want it. And Shannon's like, well, you don't believe I can make it on my own? I'm going to prove all you bozos wrong. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do it myself. And you get the heck out of here. And that's it.
That's it. That's the whole flashback scene.
It's not I don't know. It's
4 out of 10.
4 out of 10. Definitely there's nothing to it really.
No, exactly. It's there is technically a story there.
Yeah.
Does it really have any well, it's tough, especially because there is a lot of drama there.
Yeah.
But there's not really stakes or anything.
Exactly.
It's she loses the internship seconds after she gets it.
Exactly.
And so there was never really any expectation that this was a thing she was going to do.
Exactly.
Her dad dies before we meet him.
Mm-hmm.
She loses her money before we find out that she's rich.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, everything sort of happens in the wrong order.
It's all so condensed into such a thing.
Yeah.
That there are other characters where it's we've had so much time to get to know them.
Yeah.
like a Kate episode, which may not be the most exciting thing in the world, still has a lot of like stakes to it.
Yeah.
Same with a Sawyer episode. Even like a Charlie episode, I'd go so far as to say has stakes to it.
And all of those are like very contained things too, with like a pretty solid beginning, middle, and end.
Exactly.
And like things start out, and there's a situation that needs to be resolved.
Exactly.
And then something goes wrong, and then the character is changed but carries on.
Exactly.
But in this circumstance, it's like things start out, dad is dead.
Yes.
Okay, that's a setup.
Yep.
The fallout of that is that she doesn't get to go to the internship that we didn't know about yet.
Yes, and she loses access to money that we didn't know about.
Yeah, exactly. And then the character does not continue on.
Exactly.
So there's very little that it actually like gives us to latch on to.
Exactly. Let's move on to the on-island shenanigans.
That's where the real action happens.
That's where the real action happens. So the two main plots. The plot revolving around Shannon. Well, as long as we're talking about Shannon, let's keep that business going.
Yeah.
So, So Shannon is mourning Boone, and she's taken up the role as protector of Vincent for the moment.
Yeah. Don't tell me she doesn't have a fucking job.
Yeah, exactly. You take that, stepmom.
I'm protector of Vincent.
I protect the dog now. I feed the dog, and I take the dog on a journey.
That is what happens. That's her whole storyline this time.
No. Actually,
there's some more interesting stuff.
Don't forget that it starts out with her and Saeed having some sex.
Getting it on.
They have some sex.
Yeah, it's and Saeed's all romantic. He builds a tent too close to the other camp. I will say that.
Yep.
He builds a tent about 20 steps away from the other camp.
Yep.
Personally, if you're building a sex tent, I think you should put like 500 meters, maybe?
Yeah, yep. There's definitely that's a small beach, my friend.
Yeah.
Have some respect. But it's like all candlelit and there's like flowers and stuff. It's very romantic.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't fall for that, you know?
I mean, I would. If Saeed took me to that sex tent, I would say, "Hey, buddy, put her here.
Put her here." Hey,
good point.
Great craftsmanship, buddy. You did it.
Good work, old buddy, old pal.
Hey, you love it.
Yeah.
So they're lying down and they're hugging and Saeed's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go get us some water," and Saeed takes off. And then the candle goes out, and Shannon goes, "What the heck?" And what does Shannon see? But Walt standing there out of nowhere, and he's drenched in water. And
there's like water coming out of his mouth. It's sick.
It's really kind of cool. And he's like whispering something that we can't understand.
How did they get the water in his mouth? I didn't see them put it in.
What the heck? Oh, they faked us out, I think.
I guess it was trick photography, maybe CGI water.
Probably CGI. Probably what they did was they hired a stunt double. To be the water.
Michael Bain.
Michael Bain?
Yeah.
The stunt double?
Is this a Michael Bain movie?
No. It's James Abrams.
James. What do you think the J's stand for? Do you know?
2 joints.
2 joints
for what
in the morning,
for what he
at
smokes
night,
in the morning at night,
etc.
Yeah.
Which version do you know? The Sublime version or the other band version? Everyone resoundingly answers the Sublime version.
I didn't even know there was another band version.
I know. That's a cover.
What?
Yeah.
That's not that surprising. We don't have to get into the deep lore history of third wave ska bands. I mean, we could. I just don't have enough to.
Well, no, we have to.
Yeah,
now that it's been brought up.
We got.
I'm talking the deep lore history.
Yeah, give me the deepest cut history of ska you got.
They invented checkers.
Checkers, the like 30-year-old board game.
Yeah. Yeah. They had a chessboard and they were like, "Fuck this, we're punks."
Yeah. We don't play by the rules. We're just gonna put these crazy little discs on it instead.
We're only gonna use half these spaces.
Hey, take that, establishment.
I thought checkers was always you just put like one goes on the dark spaces and one on the white spaces. and then you just move them around. You never run into each other. It's incredible.
It's a beautiful game.
It's like soccer that way.
Yeah, it's a lot like soccer. It's so much like soccer.
So much like soccer.
Checker's a lot like soccer.
Yeah.
So Shannon sees Walt appear.
Does she ever? Oh my God.
And Saeed is like searching the beach, and he's like, I don't see anyone out here. But Shannon is like, I saw Walt.
I saw Walt.
And I'm gonna find him. I'm gonna find him.
I've got Vincent.
I've got Vincent. Let's find Walt. So Shannon's whole deal this episode is she's got to find Walt.
For what? Well, I guess because she sees him.
She sees him and she's like, well, they went out on a raft and if I'm seeing him here, he must be somewhere.
You know what? Given the ultimate conclusion of Shannon's storyline in this episode, which I won't give away right away, but the way that they make that happen is so, like, dickish. It's so rude. They, like, show her this child who clearly needs help and is whispering, like, nothing in particular.
Yeah.
And then it commences, like, her on a journey that
doesn't end great.
I'll just say it doesn't end well.
Yeah. So, like, he takes Vincent, he takes Walt's old clothes and has Vincent sniff him. And is using Vincent to guide him around. And Vincent takes her to Boone's grave.
Vincent has a sick sense of humor.
It's twisted.
He's like, I lost my best friend. You lost yours.
Hey,
what up?
What up? We're 2 peas in a pod.
2 peas in a pod. Get in this fucking pod.
2 peas in a podcast. Hey, that's us.
We did it. All right. Podcast is over.
We've done it.
We've done it. We found a way to work that sentence in.
Finally. So Saeed finds them at Boone's grave, and he's like, hey, I understand I've suffered loss too. It's hard to lose someone you love. And Shannon's like, I get it, but also, hey, here's the deal. I saw Walt, and you don't believe me. And Saeed's like, I just don't, I'm trying to understand. And Shannon's like, you know what? To heck with you, and goes off into the woods, and they kind of have a long argument along the way, and Saeed's like, Vincent's can't really follow scent really, and Shannon's like, I know I saw Walt, and I'm worried about him. Why don't you believe me? Nobody believes me.
Nobody believes in me.
Nobody ever believes in me. Everybody thinks I'm a big joke, and you are the same as anybody else. You're just gonna leave me. You're gonna abandoned me.
Oh, that's what it's about, eh?
Yeah.
Well, that's where it comes from.
That's where it comes from.
And I guess she was like abandoned by her stepmom.
Yeah. It's there.
Yeah.
And Saeed's
I think they should have called it Ghost Boy.
Whoa. Should they have?
Or Dog Dash. That would have been a good name for the episode. Yeah, Dog Dash.
Dog Dash. I want an episode of Lost called Dog Dash.
Yeah, we'll get there one day.
We'll get there. We'll watch that episode.
Yeah.
So Saeed, it's raining now, and Saeed's like, I do believe you, and I love you, and I'm not going to abandon you, I promise. And Shannon's like crying, and they're hugging, and I think they kiss probably. But then Saeed spies Walt again. Walt one more time.
Walt 2.0.
And Walt goes, puts his finger up to his little lips. And Shannon goes off to chase Walt. To chase this apparition of Walt. And I should mention that Saeed confirms, like...
Yeah, he's like, Walt is really there.
Yeah, Shannon's like, you see him too? And Saeed's like, yes, I see him. And
chill.
And Shannon runs off to chase Walt. And Saeed chases after her, but falls down into the mud and gets back up and hears a gunshot.
Ah!
And Shannon stumbles out and has been shot in the tummy. By who?
Ana Lucia Tremonti.
Ana Lucia Tremonti. I don't think that's her last name.
That's Anna Maria Tremonti is a CBC radio host.
Oh.
Ana Lucia. Just Ana Lucia.
Just Ana Lucia. Let's talk about the other plot, which is them.
Yeah.
So Ana Lucia.
Wait, can we just digest for a second
that Shannon just got shot?
Shannon just died.
Yeah, Shannon just died, and like, man, we've talked about it before, but it sure does suck how many times Lost kills like a woman character to give a man sadness.
Yeah.
And
especially for, I mean, Saeed's sadness only comes from women he likes dying.
And the torture and crimes he committed.
I guess that like passed, but in his when he lived in L.A., they kill his wife.
Yep, they kill his wife as well.
And then whenever he falls in love with Shannon, and they immediately kill her.
Yep, they do it a lot with Saeed.
And then he also loves this woman, and then he kills her. Which that one's a little
That
cool.
does happen, yeah. And Hurley loses Libby. Sawyer loses Juliet.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see that.
I don't think we've seen Juliet actually die yet, but Sawyer does lose. We've seen Sawyer in the state of sadness. And, like, stop it, guys.
Stop killing him.
Don't do that. You can have good women characters.
Yeah,
like,
kill a dude.
Imagine a world where this is, like, Shannon spends the whole run of the series being, like, spoiled and bratty and such. And this is the episode where she decides, it's time for me to be taken seriously. I'm going to turn around.
It becomes a real character.
I want to contribute to the team.
Yeah.
I want to add my voice.
Yeah.
I want to do things. Now that I know that I can be believed in, I can finally take these steps to having a good character arc.
Do you think like one of the writers pitched that and then everyone else in the room was like, damn, we got to kill her?
Yeah, probably.
She's starting to get away from us.
I think they probably considered it, and then they were like, but it's a good way to make some conflict.
Yeah, exactly. It
sure
will make Saeed a bit more interesting.
I also think that's probably exactly what they thought, and I think this is the first time they do it.
Yeah.
At least that I can recall. There may be an earlier one, but
I think it is.
Yeah. So not great for Lost. Not that Shannon was the most interesting character, but they could have just made her more interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Her, right? It was like they just built a shitty character and then killed her.
Yeah, and it completely also
and it happens a lot.
And it also like undoes what little intrigue there was in her flashback.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, cool. I'm glad I learned about this now dead character.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not great. So the other plot we see is we've got Michael, Sawyer, and Jin hanging out with tail section people.
The tail section crew.
Which right now has
tail section crew.
Ana Lucia, Bernard, Libby, Mr. Echo's there too.
Mr. Echo.
And Cindy.
Cindy, who I do not even remember what she looks like.
We've seen Cindy very briefly around. She was the flight attendant who gave Jack a couple drinks in the pilot.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And I think we also get a glimpse of her at the temple, I think, as well, in season 6.
At the temple? Why is she there?
Because we see her get snatched by the others.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, in this episode she gets snatched by the others. But we'll get there. So they're all basically they're making the journey to reunite with the whole camp, basically. The tail section,
the main camp.
The tail section at this point, like we don't really we don't know a lot about them yet. Still,
but we trust them.
We trust them mostly. I think,
and we know that they've been through some shit.
Exactly. This is I basically think like the people on the raft who got blown up at the end of season 1.
Oh, yeah, they find themselves at the tail section
Yes,
camp?
exactly. They wash up on the shore, and the tail section is who finds them, and that's how we meet the tail section. And
that makes sense.
And at first, they're like, "You guys stole my kid," and they're also like you guys stole our kids.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Well, what a misunderstanding.
Someone's taking kids, but it's not either of us.
Not either of us." And then they eventually decide, like, well, we've got to. Because the tail section has been way more brutalized by the others. Like, the tail section we see is all that's left of the tail section. Yeah. And so they're just like, well, let's go meet up with your crew instead. Also, like, Sawyer has a gunshot in his arm, too. So
yeah, Sawyer got shot. Who shot Sawyer?
One of the bozos who took the kid.
Why shoot the hottest guy on the boat?
To prove that you're the hottest guy on the other boat.
I guess that's it, right?
That's exactly
it. That's like jail rules that you always hear on your first day. Go up and shoot the hottest guy on the boat.
Yeah, so that way you're the hottest guy on the boat.
Exactly. That makes sense.
That makes perfect sense.
I'm glad they did that.
It's smart. It's smart writing.
It's smart writing.
It's just that razor sharp writing.
One of these guys has probably been to jail.
I think so.
Yeah, or at least has seen a movie that talked about that.
Sawyer's been to jail, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he knew to get shot.
That's why I knew to get shot.
That's why he took getting shot as a compliment.
Exactly. He said, well, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Not cool, but chill.
So nothing like much really happens along this
just
journey.
walk.
They just kind of are walking, and they're like, there's tensions, and Sawyer's like hurting, and the boys are carrying him, and Anna's
well, it's sick. There's a really great scene where he collapses.
Yeah.
And then, Anna Lucia's like, yo, we gotta go. Leave this bozo here.
Yep.
Kangaroo Jack's on the ground. Who cares? Yep. And then everyone else is like, fuck you, Anna Lucia. We're gonna save him because he makes funny comments and is the hottest guy on the island.
We can't let the protagonist just die.
Yeah, exactly. We need him for 4 more seasons after this one.
Exactly. So we're gonna build ourselves a makeshift stretcher and carry him along with us.
They make him a hammock.
They make him a little hammock.
It looks comfy.
It's an impressive hammock because it's like we basically see like Michael be like, hey, you go get some doodly dudes and you go get some sticks. And then the next scene we see is just a full stretcher.
Oh, yeah. They have constructed a fucking masterpiece. They built the wheel.
They built a wheel. And then they have to carry it up this big ol' honking cliff. And while they're carrying it up this cliff, once they get to the top, they realize, oh, no, Cindy's gone. Who hadn't really said anything.
Yeah, it's like, was Cindy ever there to begin with?
Yeah, exactly. Makes you think.
Makes you think, doesn't it?
It sure does. There's another pretty good scene also. Basically, they are going along the beach of the island, but then they hit like a big honking rock formation. And Echo's like, hey, we got no choice. If this guy's going to live, we got to cut inland through the other's territory. And Anna's like, nuh-uh. And Echo's like, yeah-huh. And we got to do it. And so everybody's kind of like, all the tail section people are being like super duper hush hush. But like Jin and Sawyer are they're just chatting, they're hooting and hollering, and Anna's like, shut the heck up. They're gonna find us if you keep this bozo business up. And
that was a really good impression. The amount of times that lady says bozo business.
It's really something. It's a lot.
You could count it on no less than toes.
No less than toes.
Yeah.
And so basically Michael lays it out and says like, hey, we're not going to shut up.
Yeah.
Because we want to talk.
We're tired.
And unless you tell us why the heck we got to keep our traps shut, we're going to keep on talking.
And then they just do this weird, like, they're taunting her, doing like the chicken arms and going,
yeah. They're like slapping their butt, and then
exactly.
They're like making fart noises.
Exactly.
And
it's
then
really cool. It's one of the cooler scenes. I wonder if they CGI'd that one.
I don't think they did. I think
the flames must have.
I've never seen Michael do anything that cool, so it must have been CGI.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think he's that good of an actor.
No. And Anna Lucia basically says, "Okay, stop farting at me," and then he kind of gives this intense monologue about like how they came on the first day and they took so many guys, and then they came again and they took so many guys, and they know how to find us. They hunt us down all the time. They are ruthless. They're going to kill us. And if you think one gun and one bullet is going to stop them, then guess what? This monologue is going to be used in all kinds of trailers about the others because of how crazy they are.
That's really funny.
And sure enough, it was.
This is the expose as to everything that the others entail for the rest of the season.
Yep. You want to know the stakes? I'll give you the stakes.
The stakes are medium rare.
Who's this character? Is that Sawyer?
Yeah, that's Sawyer. He like broke out of his coma for a second to make a little joke. Here's a real... this is unrelated.
Okay.
This is a real thing I've been thinking about the past 2 days, though.
Okay.
There's a butchery, like, in the market, right seconds from my house.
I can probably see it if these windows weren't so fogged up.
And they have a deal right now, 20% off ground horse meat.
Wow.
Do I buy the ground horse meat?
I don't know if you do.
I've never had horse meat.
I have never even considered the possibility of eating horse meat.
I know, but now it's there, and I'm like, it'd be $5 for some horse, for a bag of horse.
Is it just like pure meat? You would have to like make it into like a patty or something, or
yeah,
cook it up and
it's
put
like
it in a
ground beef
taco?
or something.
I have no earthly clue. I have no possible. I am not the person to answer this.
This one's going out to our viewers.
Yeah, if
you wanna weigh in on this,
please,
you can tweet at us #YesHorsemeat or #NoHorsemeat.
The critical hashtags.
Critical hashtag. You can't say it in words.
I'm gonna be sure to include both those hashtags on the Twitter I tweet out.
Yeah, yes horsemeat or no horsemeat, because
oh my God.
I am in a standstill. I'm not sure. I don't know what I would do with the horse meat, whether I would maybe like make it into a burger or something, or maybe like fry it up and make a pasta sauce. I don't know.
I was under the impression that it was one of those like joke meats. Like it was a meat that you would like hear people say as oh, you don't want to be eating horse meat.
Well,
like,
Steve Brule and the Tim and Eric stuff always have horse meat in their sketches.
Yeah,
there's a man who sells canned horse meat.
That's exactly it. It's a Tim and Eric product.
Yeah, exactly. That's what level it is. But I don't know. Now that it's there, you know.
If it's cheap and there's like a good or like certifiable like enough people being like, yeah, horse meat is just fine to eat.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. You can make a tasty horse meat burger. I mean, I've had moose meat before, so
yeah,
like,
moose
I don't know.
is incredible.
Moose is great.
Better than cow.
Actually confirmed, yes.
Yeah.
So like, you know, whatever. Eat
Maybe
it if you
you'll
want.
do it.
Maybe, you know what? You only live once, especially if you eat horse meat.
I work tomorrow. Maybe after work.
You'll treat yourself to a horse meat.
Yeah.
All
I'll
right.
buy a nice chunk of horse.
Man.
That one could have won the race. That's what I'm interested in. You never get a cow and you're like, this one won the race. But with horse, you don't know. That could be Seabiscuit you're eating there. There's any number of things.
That's what it is that horses have like too much knowledge for me to want to eat them.
I know. It is a little weird. It's like they're just majestic creatures.
They're just these beautiful beasts. And you're gonna shove them into a thing, and then I start to think about animals in general.
Yeah, once you apply that to everything, it's like, god damn it, I'm a monster.
Oh well. Them's the breaks.
All right, I might do it.
Hey,
I'll update everyone next week.
I'm excited as hell to hear about how your horse meat quest goes.
I'm glad I brought this up.
Holy shit. That was a whirlwind. So basically, it ends up that Anna Lucy, they lose Cindy, and Anna's on edge because all her fears are confirmed.
Yeah.
She's like, this is your fault. If we hadn't stayed behind for your bozo friend, we'd still have our best friend and most important character, Cindy. And so what ends up happening is Shannon runs off, gets shot, runs back to Saeed, and who should be standing there but Anna Lucia with a gun drawn.
And it's
all
like,
the gang.
I get it, you lost Cindy, but you didn't have to kill Shannon over it.
Exactly.
You know?
It feels forced. Not only in the sense of let's kill a lady character to a thing, but let's create an artificial conflict for when these two groups merge.
Yeah.
Like nothing can ever just go okay.
No,
and
not in this island.
And I get it, it's a drama, so it'd be weird if they were just like, hey, we're friends now, I guess. But like, you don't have to. I don't know. Even back in the day, I remember thinking like, this could have been avoided.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like this is just everything has to be a thing.
Everything. It's always
which is
a thing.
Fair. That's what drama is,
exactly.
I guess. But it's like tomorrow, if I go buy the horse meat, I don't expect like to walk home and the mailman spit in my face.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's sort of that equivalent. It's like nothing can happen without a bad thing accompanying.
Exactly. It'd be like you buying the horse meat and then cooking up the horse meat, and then like you get a letter in the mail saying your check's bounced.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Exactly. It's just like nothing. There's no
like, who got my checks? Who's writing checks?
Who's writing these checks?
I don't write checks. This. We're mostly beyond that in this world at this point.
I write checks for my rent.
For your rent?
For my rent and pretty much nothing else. I almost wrote a check for my driver's license fee.
But
then they took Interact, so I didn't.
Yeah, that's the thing. Everyone takes Interact.
Mm-hmm.
The rent should take Interact.
The rent should just take Interact. Can I just do a direct deposit? I probably can, actually. I bet that's the thing that landlords
I
do.
used to do that for my rent.
Yeah, that's a dream. There's one more minor plot that happens on this island. And it
I
involves,
don't even remember it.
Charlie and Claire are having a fight.
Oh, yeah.
It's not really anything. So Charlie and Claire, they're going over to investigate Shannon hooting about Walt. And Claire has brought Aaron, and Charlie's like, "You woke up the baby."
The baby.
And
they're being very like couple with a new baby.
Couple with a new baby. It's classic.
They're sort of setting up, that like Charlie has become this father figure.
Exactly, but like maybe he's overstepping his bounds, kind of, because like he's just kind of like you don't know nothing. You're a new mom. You don't know nothing. Unlike me, I know the things about how a baby goes.
Why? Why does he know that?
Why would he? Why in what world would he know how to handle a baby?
He's like a 25 or 26-year-old like rocker dude.
And so Locke there's another scene where Locke comes over and is hanging out with a baby, and Locke is just being nice old man Locke and not like zealot psycho Locke.
Yeah, he's cool. He's cool in this episode.
He's
just a nice man.
He's just being a nice man, and he swaddles the baby and teaches Claire how to swaddle a baby and says like, babies like the feeling of being constricted. And Claire's like, man, I don't know if I'm cut out for this motherhood thing. It feels like everybody knows everything about how babies go, and I don't really know nothing. I was gonna give this guy up for adoption, you know. I'm just trying to do my best.
Fair.
And Locke is like, yeah, but you know, Charlie's got a good head on his shoulders. And Claire's like, yeah, Charlie's religious. Oh, he has one of those Virgin Mary statues around. And Locke's like, whoa.
You mean the heroin statues?
You mean the heroin statues?
But he doesn't say that.
He doesn't say that.
He knows.
He knows. And then later, Charlie and Locke are playing backgammon.
A little backgammon.
Fantastic game that I would love to play.
Yeah, let's get a little gammon on the go.
I have a backgammon board at home. I'll bring it over next time and we'll play it while we record.
That'd be great. Yeah.
It'll be great.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's great. We'll keep
like checkers. Except backgammon was invented by, I think it was Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, it was invented by Limp Bizkit. It was invented by the new metal craze.
Yeah.
They looked at checkers and they were like, no, it's pointy.
Yeah,
Fuck
exactly.
you.
That's why Woodstock 99 got so messed up.
They got so messed up because everybody was trying to play checkers and they were like, no, you got to put it on the pips.
Yeah, exactly. Drag those lines.
You got to drag those lines out. So basically they have a dressing down and Locke is like, hey, hope I didn't overstep my bounds with Claire. I know you two are close and I just kind of wanted to help out the baby. And Charlie's like, yeah, it's fine. Hey, this Claire lady, she really doesn't know much about being a new mom. So I got to be there to, you know, keep her in check, I guess. And Locke's like, hey, aren't you a recovering heroin addict? And Charlie's like, yeah, but that's rude of you to bring up, honestly.
Charlie's like, dude.
Not cool.
Not cool, dude.
And that's it.
That's it. That's the whole episode.
That's their whole plot. Just a minor drama between Claire and Charlie.
Yeah, a little minor heroin addiction.
Minor heroin addiction. Not a huge deal.
Not a big deal.
There's one scene also about where Hurley and Rose are doing laundry.
Oh, yeah.
And Hurley's like, you know, we have a dryer down in the hatch. And Rose is just like, you know, I don't like the hatch. Plus, it's nice out here. And that's it.
It's nice. It's a nice scene. I always remembered that scene.
It's a nice little memorable scene.
I like Rose. I like Hurley. They just put two of the most likable people on screen together, and that's why I remember it.
Bernard is generally pretty likable too, but he also has an insane quality about him.
Yeah,
that I never really
that's exactly it.
That I never.
He has this quality of like the professor from Back to the Future.
Yeah, I feel like it's very much like because Bernard got stranded in the tail section. And their lot was much harder. Yeah. So he came out a little
more messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He also is the only member of the tail section to survive until the end of the show.
Oh yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Fucking so crazy.
This was truly a show that loved to kill auxiliary characters and would not do anything with their main characters.
It loved to bring in auxiliary characters only to kill them.
Yeah. Like pretty immediately.
Pretty much immediately. What did you think of this episode?
It was fine. It was very like run of the mill.
I gotta say this might have been the worst episode we've seen in like a stretch.
Yeah, really.
It was really like it was. There's nothing like like outrageously bad about it.
It was just filler.
It really felt like in one ear and out the other.
Yeah.
It's a struggle to talk about this episode because it feels like nothing really happens in it.
Well, that's why we got all that great Newgrounds and
horse
meat material. Yeah. I feel like that's what people will remember.
Exactly. You're not going to remember the Shannon drama. We never have to talk about Shannon drama ever again either.
She's dead.
That's her only episode, and she dies in this episode.
Love it. Wow.
Doesn't that put a nice little bow on it?
Doesn't that put a nice little nail in her coffin?
It sure does. Let me look at my notes and confirm that we're all done and that I can talk about everything I want to talk about, and then I'm going to go to random.com.
Let's get a little episode selection going on.
I will say the Walt appearing stuff is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool. How did they get the water in his mouth?
How could they've gotten water in
I
Walt's
don't
mouth?
understand it.
It doesn't make sense. It's a cool little mystery.
Yeah.
As far as lost mysteries go.
In terms of the one thing that you can latch on to like make this episode interesting.
Exactly. It's literally the only like driving force in this episode, and it's fine. It's appropriately unsettling. I think like he's talking backwards.
Yeah.
Walt is.
Oh, really?
And
Yeah.
if you reverse the thing, it either says, "Don't push the button is bad," or like push the button is something else.
Wow, he's really like Led Zeppelin, isn't he?
He's a lot like Led Zeppelin. If you think
there's
about
a bustle in your hedgerow, don't be alarmed now.
He will give you 666. I remember really like firmly believing that like not wanting to listen to Led Zeppelin because I was scared that I would get devil messages in my phone
I remember like the YouTube hole that I fell in where I just like watched. Probably spent a good hour really concentrating on that song and its devil message.
My favorite one of those like reverse message things is the one for Another One Bites the Dust, where like the bridge at the end.
Way.
It's not a devil message, but it's at the end where it's like another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. If you reverse it and then think about it for long enough, it kind of almost a little bit sounds like he's saying, "It's fun to smoke marijuana."
Yes, I'm looking that up the second that we stop recording.
I will say it's completely a stretch, but I also
it should be, right?
They're all stretches, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
But like it's just fun to think about like Freddie Mercury being like, I'm gonna pull a sneaky in this one.
It's fun to smoke. How am I gonna get this? And then put it in like our hit song,
or one of our hit songs of all time. I know. It's fun to smoke marijuana. It literally sounds like a made up like.
It's fun to smoke marijuana. It's fun to smoke marijuana.
It's so like.
God damn it, Frederick.
Now I'm a big weed head because I listen to Queen too much. All right.
Weed head.
You got the list of lost episodes?
Oh
ready?
yeah, I got them. I got them up here.
1 to 121. Generate. Oh. 89.
89. Wow. What are we going? Probably back to season 5.
I would reckon so. Maybe 4.
This is going to be season 4. Yeah.
Episode.
Nope, shit. I was wrong.
Oh.
Season 5, episode 3, Jughead.
Whoa.
Which is about Desmond.
Desmond Jughead. All right.
I like Desmond. I could go for another Desmond. Yeah. We're never going to get a Jack episode.
Holy fuck. We never are. This is episode 25, and we still haven't gotten a Jack or a Locke episode.
Oh, and Jughead is the hydrogen bomb.
Yes, it is.
Cool.
Yeah, we're going to learn about the origins of the hydrogen bomb.
Gotta love that.
If memory serves, pretty fun episode.
Love it.
All right. That's been the Island Shuffle. Thank you for listening. I've been Bean. I've been James. Hey, you have a thing you should plug.
Oh, yeah. Me and our mutual friend Jack, we started a new podcast.
Yeah.
It is called Lovable Favorites. We're on SoundCloud. We're going to get on the iTunes soon, but you just look up Lovable Favorites Podcast, and we write fan fictions drawn from a hat, and we read them on the air to each other. You want some samples of things we talk about?
I would love some.
How about E.T. gets engaged?
Yes.
How about Ellen DeGeneres goes to the mall?
I cannot imagine how these scenarios were going to play out.
And by the time that you're listening to this now, you will also have Hank Hill tries stand-up.
That's the one I anticipate the most. I think that was the one that Jack pitched to me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's a podcast."
It's pretty good. Yeah.
God, it's good.
So check it out.
Please check it out.
Check it out.
Hey, check out that podcast, because that podcast is good. And this podcast is not bad either.
It's pretty good, I would say.
Thanks for listening. I've been Bean Levier.
I've been James Brown.
And like we say at the end of every one of these crazy, mixed up, noisy, bizarre episodes.
Yeah.